नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, खूप सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांच्या डिमांड नंतर आपण आपली इंडियन पॉलिटीची बॅच इंग्लिशमध्ये सुरू करत आहोत. ही इंग्लिशमधील बॅच मी जवळपास सर्वच्या सर्व लक्ष्मीकांत कव्हर करण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. ही इंग्लिश मीडियममधल्या बॅचची तुम्हाला एक नोट्ससुद्धा मिळेल आणि यासोबतच तुम्हाला या बॅचचे सर्वच्या सर्व व्हिडिओज, आपलं जे ज्ञानदीप अकॅडमीचा लाल कलरचा लोगो असणारा ॲप आहे, या लाल कलरचा लोगो असणाऱ्या ॲपवर तुम्हाला सर्वच्या सर्व बॅच मिळेल. मग या बॅचला ॲक्सेस किती असेल, व्हिडिओज केव्हा अपलोड केले जातील, तुम्ही ते व्हिडिओज किती दिवस पाहू शकता, या सर्व बाबतीतली सर्वच्या सर्व सूचना त्या ॲपवरच त्या ठिकाणी सूचना या सदरामध्ये तुम्हाला दिलेली आहे. तर मी तुम्हाला सर्वांना सुचवेल, ज्या विद्यार्थ्यांना इंग्लिश मीडियममधनं इंडियन पॉलिटीची बॅच हवी होती, तुम्ही ही बॅच नक्की जॉईन करा. तुमच्या मित्रांसोबत सुद्धा शेअर करा. यामध्ये मी तुम्हाला प्रत्येक कन्सेप्ट सांगण्याचा प्रयत्न तर केला आहेच, मात्र या कन्सेप्टच्या सोबतच त्या टॉपिकशी निगडीत जो महत्त्वाचा कंटेंट आहे आणि त्या टॉपिकशी निगडीत जे महत्त्वाचा फॅक्च्युअल डेटा आहे, जो तुमच्या परीक्षेसाठी अत्यंत उपयुक्त असतो, हा सर्वच्या सर्व डेटासुद्धा मी त्या ठिकाणी देण्याचा प्रयत्न केलेला आहे. सो तुम्हाला सर्वांना विनंती की बॅच शेअर करा आणि जॉईन करा. थँक्यू. Hello friends, welcome you all to Gnandeep Academy. Now in continuation to topic on our parliament, we'll try to study next important points from the parliamentary proceedings. Now next important motion is calling attention motion. This calling attention motion was introduced in Indian parliamentary procedures in the year 1954. It is Indian innovation. It is used to draw attention of the minister on a matter of urgent public importance. See, here try to understand two important things. Basically, whenever a question is asked in prelims, this question is always asked in between two important motions. One is calling attention motion, second is adjournment motion. And always this question in between these two motions is on substance or it is on content. Now, for example, do we adjourn a member? No. Do we adjourn a minister? No. We adjourn only house. Clear? Do we call attention of a minister? Yes. Do we call attention of a member? Yes. Do we call attention of a house? Yes. Clear? So calling attention is applicable to minister, member as well as house, whereas adjournment motion is applicable only to the house. This is the real trick to remember the basic difference between these two motions. What is basic difference? Adjournment motion is used to draw attention of the house. Calling attention motion is used to draw attention of the minister. And always these two motions are used or asked in pair with each other. Clear? So, calling attention motion is an Indian innovation from 1954. It is used to draw attention of the minister on a matter of urgent public importance. This word is important. I will star mark it. Urgent public importance. It is mentioned in rules of procedures. It is used to get authoritative statement from minister on a particular matter. For example, farmers protest is going on and no one is making statement, no one is talking about farmers and they are talking about irrelevant subject. In this case, any member of parliament can use this calling attention motion to get an authoritative statement from minister in the government about farmers protest. So this is the most important objective, to get authoritative statement from the minister. Second is adjournment motion. It is used to draw attention of the house. See, this is basic difference. Calling attention motion is used to draw attention of minister, whereas adjournment motion is used to draw attention of the house. In this case, remember, to draw attention of the house under adjournment motion, the subject or the matter must be definite. Vague statements cannot be used to draw attention of the house. It should have factual. It should have urgent public importance. Vague, contradictory, and the things which do not have public value should not be raised under adjournment motion. These two important motions are the most important cornerstones of parliamentary proceedings. One is calling attention motion and second one is adjournment motion. Now, under adjournment motion, you can raise only one matter at a time. You cannot raise more than one matter at a time. This is very, very important. Under adjournment motion, you cannot raise more than one matter at a time. under adjournment motion, question of privileges cannot be raised. Under adjournment motion, already discussed matter cannot be raised, and under adjournment motion, the matters or the subject or the issues which are under judicial consideration, the cases which are pending in either High Court or Supreme Court or in another any court, cannot be taken for consideration under adjournment motion. These four are very basic points you have to keep in mind. Only one matter can be raised under adjournment motion. No more than one matter can be raised. Question of privilege cannot be raised. Already discussed matter cannot be raised, and sub judice matter or the matter which is under judicial consideration cannot be raised under adjournment motion. This adjournment motion needs support of at least 50 members. It interrupts normal business of the house. It is extraordinary device. Rajya Sabha is not permitted to use adjournment motion. Support of 50 members of Lok Sabha is needed. Only Lok Sabha can make use of adjournment motion. Rajya Sabha do not have the right to make use of adjournment motion. It should not be less than 2.5 hours discussion. At least 2.5 hours discussion must be carried on the matter of adjournment motion. All these are small factual points are very crucial in these motions. Now next is no confidence motion. It is very interesting, no confidence motion. See, when we were discussing first topic, our parliament, at that time we discussed that Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Parliament in general and to Lok Sabha in particular. Now, why they are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha in particular? Because they have to prove their majority on the floor of the House. They have to prove their majority on the floor of the House. So, it means in case of Indian parliamentary system, if a political party wants to form a government, that political party must have support of more than 50% of strength of Lok Sabha. But if at any point of time it is found that political party do not have support of more than 50% of the strength of Lok Sabha, then in this case that political party will have to prove its majority on floor of Lok Sabha under confidence motion. And this proving of majority on floor of Lok Sabha is called as floor test. This word is important. It is called as floor test. So in simple term, floor test means proving your majority on the floor of Lok Sabha. Article 75 is the basis of no confidence motion. It is used to ensure collective responsibility of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers to Parliament in general and to Lok Sabha in particular. To ensure support of Lok Sabha, this no confidence motion needs support of 50 members of the Lok Sabha must be admitted by these members. At least 50 members must give their support. Now, along with no confidence motion, if the government fails to prove their majority on floor of the Lok Sabha, they will have to resign under no confidence motion. Same like no confidence motion, there is almost parallel another motion is there which is called as censure motion. Now, what is basic difference between no confidence motion and censure motion? See, under no confidence motion, there is no need to state the reason, no need to tell the reason. Suppose if I am a member of parliament and I want to raise no confidence motion against the government, then speaker will not ask me why you are raising this motion. Clear? So in this particular case, no confidence motion, there is no need to state the reason. Whereas in case of censure motion, where you are going to criticize the government, you are going to criticize one or more than one minister, you have to tell the reason why you are going to use the censure motion. No confidence motion can be issued against entire Council of Ministers only. Whenever no confidence motion is issued, it is issued against only entire Council of Ministers, whereas censure motion can be issued against individual minister or a group of minister or entire Council of Ministers. Censure motion can be raised against individual minister or a group of ministers or entire Council of Ministers. If no confidence motion is passed, government has to resign. If no confidence motion is passed, government has to resign. If censure motion is passed, government need not to resign. No confidence motion is used for ascertaining confidence of the Lok Sabha in Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, whereas censure motion is used to check policies and actions of the government whether they are in line with the law, constitution or not. So this is basic difference between no confidence motion and censure motion. Clear? Now next important is motion of thanks. इसको हम हिंदी में अभिभाषण का प्रस्ताव भी कहते हैं. Motion of thanks. See, basically, we have seen all executive actions of the government are taken in the name of President of India. All act of commission and omission of the government are taken in the name of the President of India. Now what happened? President makes a speech, and this speech is nothing but a motion of thanks. Motion of thanks on behalf of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers towards members of Parliament. I, President of India, thanking you all members of Parliament and entire nation on behalf of Prime Minister and Council of Ministers for supporting us in this entire journey of the government is a motion of thanks. Now here, Prime Minister makes speech on two occasions. One speech at the first session after general election. After every general election, President makes a speech in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, what is included in this speech? In this speech, President discusses the various promises made by Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers and his or her political party that they are going to provide to the people. As every political party's manifesto includes that they will provide various things. So all these various things that are being discussed by the winning political party are discussed, are speech or spoken of by President in the first speech after general election. It is first speech. Second one, at the start of every year's first session, President makes a speech. At the start of every year's first session, President makes a speech. So these two instances are called as motion of thanks. It contains policies and programs of the government in preceding year and ensuing year. It means what we did in last year, how we did in last year, what were the problems, what were the difficulties, and how we made an attempt to overcome those difficulties, and what we were able to provide you, and how we will move forward in this year to come so that make your life more bearable, more sustainable. So, President's speech involves policies, programs, actions of the government in preceding years and the year to come. It is inaugural speech of the President. It is addressed by the President. Now, the speech by the President is discussed by both the houses. I will star mark this point. It is very, very important. The speech by the President is discussed by both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And at the end of the discussion by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the speech by the President is put to vote. It is called as motion of thanks. These two speeches are first session after each general election and first session of every fiscal year. This President's address after discussion is being put to vote and it must be passed. And if government fails to get this President's speech or President's address passed, then it is treated as government do not have support of Lok Sabha and government will have to resign. It will lead to resignation of the government. So whenever motion of thanks of the government is failed, it is not passed in the voting of parliament, then in this case, it is very, very clear that government will have to resign. So it is motion of thanks. No day yet named motion. It is very interesting. Now see, as I told you, Speaker and Chairman decides the agenda for every session. Now this agenda is so watertight that it is not possible for us to add many programs, many bill, many subject and many discussions into the agenda. But still, some member persists, some member says that our point, our matter, our discussion must be taken into the consideration. And what happens in this particular case, when the focus is that our point should be taken into consideration, our point should be discussed regularly, at that time, Speaker admits, Speaker accepts the motion put forth by that member, but speaker do not give a specific date and day to that motion. Speaker do not give any specific date and day to that motion. These motions are called as no day yet named motion. It means a motion has been accepted by speaker or chairperson. It is admitted by the chairperson, but chairperson has not specified a particular day and date to have discussion on that motion. So it is called as a no day yet named motion. It is admitted by the speaker, but no date has been fixed for its discussion. Speaker allots a day after discussion with concerned member. So it is called as no day yet named motion. Point of order. Now, what is point of order? See, at the start of every session, speaker and his secretaries gives that agenda paper to all members of parliament. That agenda paper has detailed timetable of every day where the discussion and deliberation and various bills are going to be discussed. Every part has been given in detail. But what happened many a time a political party in majority, it do not heed or it do not pay attention to demands and requirements of members of opposition, and it carries on work at its own whims and fancies without taking into consideration the order of agenda or the chronological sequence in this order must go on. To this particular case, any member of parliament can raise point of order. He can say that honorable speaker, through you, I want to raise a point of order. We have been provided with this agenda. It was expected that the work will go on as per this agenda. But I am seeing, or we are seeing, that the work is not going as per the agenda. So let us first discuss why point of order is not being followed, why agenda is not being followed, and then we will discuss the next matter. It is called as point of order. See, it can be raised when proceedings of the House do not follow the normal rules of procedures. Usually, point of order is raised by an opposition member. Normally, it is an extraordinary device. No debate is allowed on point of order. I will star mark this point. It is very, very important. No debate is allowed on point of order. Then next one, it is short duration discussion. It is a tool to discuss important point. See, short duration discussion, voting is not taken place. No formal motion. It means for discussion, motion is not put for, we just go for short duration discussion. It goes on for 2 days a week and 2 hours discussion carries on. It means short duration discussion can be there for only 2 days in a week, and per day only 2 hours discussion can be carried on. Under short duration discussion only, urgent public importance matter will be discussed. It is in use since 1953. I repeat once again, short duration discussion is in use since 1953. Special mention. It is residuary power of parliament. In Rajya Sabha, it is equivalent to procedural device in Lok Sabha. It is called as special mention. Now, what we had seen? We had seen motion. Now we came here to resolution. Resolution. See, to draw attention of the House or the government. See, basic difference. What was the purpose of motion? To discuss an important urgent matter in the House, we raise motion. I repeat once again. To discuss urgent, important matter, we raise motion. Whereas, to draw attention of the House or to draw attention of the government, we use resolution. Clear this basic difference? So the simplest difference between motion and resolution. For normal man or for common man, both resolution and motion are same. But from a political science perspective, motion is used to discuss a matter of urgent public importance. Resolution is used to draw attention of the House or to draw attention of the government, to draw attention of the House or to draw attention of the government. So it is a resolution. Under resolution, matters of general public interest are being attended by government or house. It is strictly relevant to and within the scope of the house. Vague subjects should not be taken under resolution. This resolution cannot be withdrawn except by leave of the house. Means you need permission of the house if you want to withdraw this resolution. To withdraw resolution, you need to have permission of the house. This is very crucial. Resolution are of three types. One is private members resolution, second is government members resolution, and third is statutory resolution. I repeat once again, resolutions are of three types: private members, government members, and third one is a statutory resolution. Now, private members resolution, as we have discussed the definition of private member and government member. Who is private member? Any member of parliament other than minister is a private member. Whether that member belongs to ruling political party, opposition political party, or coalition political party, it doesn't make any difference. Any member who is not a minister is a private member. So, private members resolution, it is raised by a private member and it is raised alternate Friday during afternoon sitting. I will star mark this point. This is important. Private members resolution is raised every alternate Friday in the afternoon. Every alternate Friday in the afternoon. Then government resolution, government members resolution, it is raised by a minister. It is raised by a minister any day from Monday to Thursday. It can be raised. It means private members have only alternate Friday, whereas government members means ministers have the right to raise their matter on any day between Monday to Thursday, not Friday. Statutory resolution, it can be raised by a private member or a minister. It means it can be raised by a private member or a government member. Statutory resolution. Now see, this statutory resolution is raised in pursuance or in search for provisions or an act of parliament. Means if you want to discuss or if you want to have vote on any matter or any provision of parliament, you can go for this statutory resolution. Clear? So here in simple terms, statutory resolution is raised by private member or government member in pursuance of entire law or various provisions of the law, which is called as statutory resolution. Now, the basic difference between resolution and motion. Listen very carefully. First basic difference. Motion is used to discuss matter of urgent public importance. Resolution is used to draw attention of the house or government on a matter of urgent public importance. Motion and resolution. Second, all resolutions come in the category of substantive motion. It means if I draw a diagram, a Venn diagram, then this is the Venn diagram. It is this particular outer circle is substantive motion, inner circle is resolution. Right? Outer circle is substantive motion, inner circle is resolution. Why? Because all resolutions comes in the category of substantive motions. All resolutions comes in the category of substantive motion. All motions are not necessarily put to vote. It means it is not compulsory to have voting on motions. I repeat once again, it is not compulsory to have voting on motion, whereas all resolutions are required to be voted upon compulsorily. All resolutions are required to be voted upon compulsorily. Every resolution is a particular type of motion. That's why I made this Venn diagram. This outer side is a substantive motion. This inner circle is a resolution. And another important difference, every resolution must be put for vote, whereas it is not compulsory to have voting on the motions. Now, next lecture is how laws are made, what are various types of bill. We'll go for that topic in next few lectures. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.